Hi, everyone. I'm Kim, and so I'm using my phone because I need to be able to see 7 domains of wellness. So I obviously don't have them memorized. But we're going to start off by discussing the 7 areas of wellness. So you have environmental, that deals with improving the environment, doing what you got to do to protect your environment. Whether it's recycling, whether it's using things with lower emissions, whether it's simple as turning off a light switch or walking instead of driving. That is a good description of environmental wellness. Next, you have occupational wellness. Occupational wellness just says not just do you have a job, but are you able to balance your job with other areas and aspects of your life without being overwhelmed with it. Next, you have intellectuals. Pretty much what we're doing now. We're learning to improve our lives to help us to move forward in life. Next is spiritual. Spiritual does not necessarily mean religion. It could mean that you have a belief in morals and values and that you believe in a higher being other than yourself. That leads to overall wellness. Next, you have physical. Physical is basically what it sounds like. You're working your muscles, cardio, and taking care of your nutrition to better yourself as a whole. Next, you have emotional. Emotional deals with not allowing stress to overtake your life, learning how to cope with stress before it gets to the point where it overtakes your life. Lastly, you have social. Can you interact with people? Um, are they healthy interactions? Not just interaction with people, but are they healthy interactions to the point to where you are not having like nervous breakdowns? That's pretty much what that is. So the next thing we are going to discuss is what I learned from my assessment that surprised me. So what I learned from my assessment that surprised me, even though I'm kind of ashamed to say, because I feel like I'm a pretty healthy person, but obviously I need to lower my consumption of um, dairy products and high fat foods. And so me, I'm like a low carb person. So I figure if I stay away from carbs and just do things like cheeses and eat almonds, which are my favorite, and meat that is healthy, obviously is not healthy. Secondly, I learned that um, it surprised me how better I need to do occupational wise, because I do have the tendency sometimes to get overwhelmed at work and to allow it to, just not necessarily make or break my day, but it does change me sometimes. I think it's like kind of normal with everyone. So it didn't really surprise me. I think it's just to see it face to face, to actually have it come out and assessed. I already knew it, but to see it in black and white made a difference. So that right there did surprise me. My 3 weakest dimensions, like I said, would be nutrition, would be occupational. The next one would be what was the third one? I think it was this emotional? No, hold on. Yeah, it was emotional. So I consider myself a person who is typically, usually always happy, but sometimes I have a tendency not to deal with situations. I have to learn to relax when dealing with certain situations. I have a tendency to like think deeply about things. I'm a pretty critical thinker, and I am very harsh on myself, and I tend to project that on other people. So that's one thing that I have to learn is to not allow myself to be so stressed so easily, and learn how to cope with stress and not be a person who has to cope with different anxieties, even though I don't have anxiety. I have to learn how to cope with stress before it turns into anxiety. That's what I'm saying. Okay. So, um, how do some of my lifestyle factors leads to these weaknesses? I think me being a perfectionist has a lot to do with the emotional side of it and coping with stress. Because typically when you're a perfectionist, everything has to be perfect. And so if it's not, then it's something that you're going to continue to try to work on and fix and fix and fix, and you're not going to stop until it's right, and it's going to stress you out more. So that was that. And as far as nutrition, like I said, in my world, in my mind, I feel like if I am not consuming carbs, but more, dairy products that is healthier. So obviously misinformation, miseducation led me to the point to where I know that now I need to do better nutritionally. And occupational wise, I think my occupation kind of like leads into my emotional things as far as stress, but occupationally, it does kind of go back into that thing of being a perfectionist. So I love my job. I love my job as a public health technician. However, sometimes it does stress me. Sometimes dealing with patients do stress me. The things that they say, super demanding people, they have the tendency to stress me. So that's something I'm definitely going to work on. Okay. Some of my strongest dimensions of wellness. So I feel like I'm very good at the spiritual aspect of wellness. I typically go to church every Sunday. Try to go to church every Sunday. And I am a Christian, so I do feel like I am very good at the spiritual aspect. However, there is always room for improvement. What else? My occupational is kind of like a two-sided thing. I'm like awesome at my job. However, it stresses me out, but I'm awesome. So I'm still going to label occupational as that. And social. So it's pretty awesome that one of my classmates actually works like right in my office. Hey, all done. Anyway, so social. I'm not like this super social butterfly. However, once I like you, I like you. And I'm really good at maintaining friends. And so when I care about you, I care about you, and I do what I can to take care of you. So those are my three. And I got a feeling I have to explain why. Oh, yeah, I said that. So I have learned that wellness is intertwined with every part of my life. Like there is not one part of my life that I can say I can remove and expect to be a complete person. Obviously, the environment is a huge part of my life. My occupation is a huge part of my life. Social is a huge part of my life. Even taking care of my son, it's a huge part of my life. Being physically active, that's really, really important to me. It's a huge part of my life. It goes along with my job. And it reduces stress. So there you go with the emotional side of it. Don't know if I said spiritual yet, but me being a Christian, learned that everything, once again, all 7 of the aspects of wellness, to me, it all intertwines. And so that's exactly what I've learned. Lastly, one way that I can improve the weakness as far as my dimension of wellness, it says to write it down and chart it throughout the week. I have homework on top of homework instructor, but it's cool. Okay, so I'll definitely do that. I will definitely work on, I think I'll work on the stress aspect. I think I'll work on the stress aspect. Anyway, I have enjoyed my time. I love talking about me. I hope you enjoy my time. I think I'm over my, oh wow, I'm at like 9 minutes and 15 seconds. Well over the 2 to 5 minutes. Okay, anyway, have a good night. See you from Okinawa. Bye, all done.